Welcome to another episode of the Headlight Restoration Pro. In this episode, I'll be showing you how to take this dusty, ugly, messed up headlight that you probably can't even see out of at night to something more like this. Gorgeous. Sexy. Crystal clear. It really can't get any better, can it? You be the judge. Let's get down to business. What I'm using here is a standard drill. It has two settings. One is about 0 to 500 or so, and the other one is about 0 to 1700. The reason it says this is because you don't necessarily have to hold the trigger all the way down. The more you squeeze, the more power is delivered to the strokes. As you see here, you want to use nice, even strokes. As you see the ripples there. You also see me paying special attention to the more beat up areas of the light, all those white areas. Those are going to be a little bit more in depth and require a little bit more attention versus the more clear areas of the headlight. As you notice, I'm using both hands to control the drill. It's never really recommended to ever use one hand unless you have a really flat headlight and you're working the middle. Other than that, I wouldn't try it because it can slip and easily go through the tape or go onto the paint where the tape is not. Then you have another issue to take care of. Notice how I always keep the drill moving. You do not want to set it still too long at one spot because you will cause all kind of damage. From burning to heat crack or fracturing, smudge marks in the clarity of the light. You always want to keep it moving because you're using large amounts of grinding and friction, which can permanently damage the headlight. And when you're dealing with a customer's vehicle or friends or even your own vehicle, this is something you do not want to deal with because in most cases it is unreversible. Changing pads to a new pad, same pad. I always keep in mind that even though 3M is a great product, no product is created equally. Sometimes the pads will only do half a light, a whole light. At the same time, a light may be so bad or such a different texture that it might take 2 or 3 pads to get the desired effect on the first stage or even the second stage. It can take multiple pads, but generally 90% of the time, in my experience, it takes 1 pad per light for each stage. This is why most kits have multiple pads in each. But at the same time, these kits that you're buying from the store, 9 times out of 10, they have enough in there to do multiple lights if you know what you're doing. And we can help you know what you're doing. Just a little bit of blower action here, helping keep the workspace clean and tidy. Alright, this here is a handheld pad holder, which is most similar to the at-home, more user-friendly kits and things like that. It's similar to one of those by-hand kits per se. I only use it for little areas that are hard to get to, and like say areas around the light that I am not comfortable getting with the drill because it's much more power and you don't want to damage. And also places like this ridge here that I'm about to attack with it to help get it dialed in without damaging it with the drill. It's kind of an important step, but it's not a mandatory. You can use it with your hand or a microfiber towel, maybe, just you need something with a little bit of padding, a little bit of give, so you can really work those corners. Also, as you see here, I went back and forward with this in the hand motion to delete the swirling, which will turn those lines, all those swirls, into vertical lines or horizontal lines, which are much easier to remove to be unseen in the final steps. This next step here is done with a P300 white sanding disc. This step is all about smoothing out any of the larger scrapes or lines or scratches left behind from the more aggressive disc, which is the P500 gold disc that we used before this. You really want to focus on your smooth strokes and gentle, even pressure. Always remember, smooth, even strokes, and always overlap. You want to generally think about touching each area a couple times. No set denomination, but definitely more than once. And that is every inch of the headlight. Alright, back to the handheld disc holder. See how I am doing the swirl delete, or deleting the swirls, smoothing them out into horizontal or vertical lines, or scrapes, shall we say. Special attention to any divot like this on any headlight. Not all headlights are created equal. Some headlights are extremely difficult and have a high hazard of burn or damage when using the drill. This is when this comes in handy primarily. Also, like I said, the swirl delete. The less swirling you have, the better clarity you will have coming out at the final product. The next step here is the P3000 sanding pad, which is more of a hybrid of sanding and polishing. It knocks down what's left of the little tiny microscopic scratches, and it just clears them and smooths them away, and does a small amount of polishing as well. As you can see with the water here, it starts cleaning up very nice. But as soon as that dries or dehydrates, it'll go right back. Clean, overlapping strokes. You want to slow down a little bit on this step. You don't want to move the drill as fast as the other ones because the liquid and because the makeup of the P3000 pad, you don't have any risk of really burning or scratching or any kind of defects of the light. The only thing you're worrying about is premature burning out your disc. This disc can and will work for multiple vehicles, which entails multiple lights. I would say each disc is good literally for about 3 cars. That is 6 lights. This next step here is nothing but a concentrated Windex per se, or glass cleaner. Any glass cleaner will work for this step, just as long as it's strong enough, not watered down too much. Basic Windex or foam would work. Foam would work, but not as well. You want something that works more with gravity. As you see it dripping downwards, pulling all of those saturates and all of those dust particles and whatever else is on the headlight after doing all this to it, it's pulling it downwards. That's what you want, is to lift it up off the light, dehydrate the light, and to move it downwards. Alright, this next step here is easy. A clean microfiber towel. I express clean microfiber towel. You do not want any dirt or anything like that getting rubbed onto the headlight. You want it nice and clean like this. As illustrated here, the second most important part of the Windex is dehydration. It is dehydrating this light. The more concentrate you have, the better it will be at dehydrating. Don't freak out at this stage because you're like, oh my God, where's all my clarity? Where did it go? It's still there. It's just the porousness of the headlight shining through. which the next two stages will eliminate in full. For this next step, this is a orange finessed pad, also accompanied with a actual headlight polish and hard lens polish. It is by far one of the best to use for this step, if not the best. I just say one of the best sometimes because who knows, they might come up with something else that might be better, but as of now, I've used just about every one of them. Also change drills for this step using a high power 12 volt polisher, which produces about 2800 RPMs at the high setting. Notice I'm using what I call the dab method. Instead of just smearing it on, you want to dab it, dab it, dab it, let it soak in for a minute, evenly all over the place, which helps the spray of the polisher, and also, just like I said, helps soak it in. As you can see here, it's already almost clearing itself up. Holy shit, do you see the clarity on that? Look at that. It's not even done yet. Look how clear that is. Always smooth strokes firmly placed on the headlight. You want to keep this moving. This is a high RPM. The only way it doesn't burn is because you have the compound on it, which lubricates and keeps the friction down at the same time polishing. Always keep it moving. This step is highly concentrated on heat and friction. Now tell me, how long do you think this is going to last just by itself? A lot longer than some of these other things I've seen. Grapefruit on the headlight, WD-40, all these things are just tricks and gimmicks. Toothbrush, toothpaste. You cannot polish a turd and hope it comes out as a diamond. It's impossible. It's against the laws of physics. It's against just anything. It's a lie. So all these other videos that you see that are like, oh my God, do this, you're just wasting your time. If you want to go out, instead of paying a professional $100, $200, whatever, to do your headlights, if you want to go out every morning and rub some orange juice on your light, feel free to do it. But if you want to know how to do it for real, keep watching these videos. A little more air here to make sure that there's no dust or any kind of particles that get into the finished final product. If you don't have air, just wipe down real good. Use your lungs. Alright, we're about to coat this, and like I said in my prior videos, any kind of spray coating is going to be superior to any other kind. Even if the product is more superior, the method of delivery with the spray is superior. You always want to use any kind of product as much as possible for this that is labeled headlight restoration or headlight coating. People put the darndest things on these headlights and it ruins the headlights in most cases, or makes it so impossible to take off when you really want to get a real person to do the headlight restoration, or professional. He can't even take this stuff off and your headlight's ruined. These 2K clears are notorious for this. You need to put something on it that has an adequate amount of UV protection, which anything designed for a headlight that says headlight restoration or headlight, any kind of word, if it says headlight on it, go for it. If it doesn't, do not put it on your headlights, people, and beware of whatever your professional is putting on your headlight too, because this is not, it's semi-permanent. It is not, I repeat, is not a permanent thing. You don't do this and fix it for the entire life of the vehicle. It's going to need to be taken off and refurbished again and again. I say anywhere from 3 to 6 years, depends on how you take care of your vehicle. It's going to need to come off. So when people put it on there and, oh yeah, it looks good like this, it might, but is it going to come off? Is it workable? 10 minutes after I put this on, I can take this off in a minute and redo your headlights Whether it's 10 years from now, 4 years from now, 1 year from now, or whenever, some of these things these people are putting on, you cannot remove. And it actually damages the light because it adheres to it too hard. Now ask yourself, is it possible to look better than this? How? Where? This is the highest level of headlight restoration. That's just not beautiful. That's sexy. Now tell me, does it get any better? Please like and subscribe for future content. Coming soon.